Welcome back to Eschatology Matters. If you're unfamiliar with our channel, you can find us on YouTube. Subscribe to us there, please, and also find us anywhere you listen to podcasts. Or check us out on our website, eschatologymatters.org. So why should we study eschatology? Well, let's start today with a few simple arguments. First of all, studying eschatology is going to force us to study the entire Bible. Secondly, eschatology is going to magnify the sovereignty of God. And seeing the doctrine of God's sovereignty helps us to glorify Him because we know that we will enjoy Him forever. Thirdly, it helps us to see one redemptive plan that's unfolding throughout history, and that, of course, exalts Jesus Christ and His work on the cross. Today, we're going to begin looking at a book written by Dr. Sam Waldron entitled The End Times Made Simple. So as the title indicates, this book helps to explain eschatology to the layman. No doubt there are many Christians who are intimidated and overwhelmed at any thought of biblical prophecy. In this book, Waldron jumps right in on the first page by addressing this issue. He writes, "The eschatological system of the Bible is basically simple, and popular views of prophecy today are profoundly unbiblical." And so Waldron goes on to say that in our day, there are basically two attitudes that exist in regards to eschatology. And he personifies these with the names Fascinated Fred and Practical Pam. In other words, many are either fascinated and unfortunately they become obsessed in a way that's not edifying, or the Practical Pams are turned off by eschatology and they want nothing to do with it. And so Practical Pam doesn't see any benefit for the Christian life by studying eschatology or prophecy. And so you might have heard the phrase at some point, pan-millennial. So Waldron says both of these attitudes are largely caused by divorcing the gospel and eschatology. And part of that divorce is evident in the way popular, modern, evangelical prophecy views the current age in which we live. If the prophetic clock doesn't start until a secret rapture of the church, then it would leave some in this age wondering if we live in some awkward, unknown period of history with little meaning in regards to God's redemptive plan. Can we have a simple and systematic presentation of Christian eschatology? Well, here's what Dr. Waldron writes, responding to that question. Prophecy is not teaching that goes beyond the gospel or that is artificially attached to it. The Christian gospel has everything to do with eschatology, and eschatology has everything to do with the Christian gospel. So some examples. Matthew 19:28. Jesus speaks of the regeneration as the goal of eschatology. Acts 3:21. Peter speaks of it as the restoration of all things. Romans 8:21. Paul speaks of it as the new creation that's set free from its slavery. So we can define eschatology as God bringing creation and mankind back to its original God-intended destination. And then, obviously, the Christian gospel has everything to do with eschatology because, as Colossians 1 tells us, God's purpose is to reconcile all things to Himself, having made peace through the blood of Christ's cross. Waldron says biblical prophecy has everything to do with Christ's cross, Christ's church, and Christ's coming. So as we work our way through this book, I hope you will see that as you examine the Bible, you can see that eschatology can be simple and gospel saturated. This book was extremely helpful for me when I first began to study Reformed theology, and I hope it will be for you as well, no matter where you're at on the theological journey. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.
Seated here at my right hand, the Lord to my Lord did command, for of these heathen I will make a kingly footstool for your sake.